Hey guys, alright, this is number 7? 7? I think it's 7 of my tutorials. Simple Gary's mod tutorials. These are just for the very beginners. If you haven't watched any of the other ones, I recommend you start on number 1 and then work your way up to this one. But we're gonna just go where I left off on that, so I just got over the weight tool, kind of showed you that, kind of showed you some um, tips with clearing all constraints and whatnot. So we'll go on to the next thing. I think the next thing we should do is lamps and lights. Similar, but they got their own purpose. I'm actually gonna go in a kind of a darker room because it shows a little bit better. This room's a little bit better for this. So we're gonna start with lamps, and I'm just gonna generally leave it. I think what it normally is. I don't remember what the normal settings are on this, and then I'm just gonna place it. So you can see there, it creates light, and I mean it's a lamp, it just creates light or whatever. But it also creates shadows, which it's not doing. Why is it not doing it? Normally it does. You know what? I bet I know why. It's because of this map. For some reason, this map doesn't allow it. Or maybe it's my settings. I don't know. Anyway, they can create shadows and stuff. They're really useful. You can pick them up, move them around. You can see how it, does what it does. But it's got a few settings. The field of view. This is also another pro tip. Well, kind of pro. If you change a setting on some things, and you just re-click the original thing, it'll update it. So if you see, I changed the field of view. It changes it. Anyway, so field of view obviously changes the angle of the light that comes out of it, how wide the angle is. Distance is how far away it still pierces to. So if I have it like in this corner, and it's still lighting up this whole room, if I change the distance down to something fairly low, it doesn't really light up the whole room very much anymore. I can change it down to like retarded low. Yeah, it definitely doesn't light up the room. And then brightness is obviously just brightness. I'm sure you understand how that works. Pretty simple. Toggle is just the toggle on button. And then you can have different colors, and they will combine, which just makes it kind of a cool effect. Not much to really say other than that. And you can change it based on, the RGB values, if you know what those are. And then the filter. Now this is kind of like, your phone, your camera filter or whatever, but a little bit more not detailed. I don't know. It's more than just an actual filter. So this one, you can see it creates lines. Just whatever you click. Some are animated, like this one. Pretty cool. And this one's kind of confusing. It's your screen space, and it only updates when you look at it. I don't know why. I don't know if that's on my settings or something that's messed up. Yeah, that's that. Pretty simple, pretty cool. I like them. Now, that's the lamp, and just remember, a lamp is directional, so it goes from one spot and points towards another and lights up that area. Now, the light is like a light that you find in your house. It lights up the whole area. It's not directional. And then it has a lot of the same things. It's got rope length, so how long that rope is. Brightness, radius, toggle, color, and key. So, pretty simple, pretty cool, pretty fun. I'm gonna go ahead and get back out of here, out into the daylight, the sun. Oh. And yeah, that's lamps, lights. Let's see what else is there. No collide. I honestly don't remember if this was a vanilla, like a normal Gary's mod thing, but it's definitely useful, so I just wanted to show it to you. If you have a couple of props, and normally, they kind of run into each other, well, no collide, exactly how it sounds, we'll make them not collide. Look at that, they go right into each other. So it's really useful when you're creating a car or something, and you need things not to touch each other, because, maybe something's rubbing and you just don't want it. Use the no collide. And it has no settings or anything. It's just very, very simple. Physical properties. This one's fun. So say you've got, Makes something look kind of cool. You got this, and you want to change the way it works. So if you listen, I don't know if this will pick up, but you hear that metal sound? Well, that's the indicating what kind of properties this will have. It'll have, physics-wise, the properties of metal. So it has a certain friction, it has a certain bounce. It's just the way it interacts with the world. You can change that with this. So you can change all these different settings. So concrete, it'll act more like concrete would, really dense, really it won't bounce much. You can hear it changes sound. That's what concrete will do. And then like, I'm not gonna go over all these, but some of cool, fun ones are like super bouncy. Oops. Actually, this brings up another good thing I need to talk about in a second. Super bouncy. Just drop it. Boing, 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 boing. Very simple, very fun. That's what super bouncy does. And then super ice. That one's really fun. Bye. It acts like ice. It just keeps sliding. Those are really useful ones. Oh, and I forgot to actually show the last one. So you got all the materials, that mean what it's made of, essentially. And then you've got the gravity. If you turn off gravity on it, and throw it. Bye! It'll just keep going. It just disables the gravity. Which is really cool. Alright, let's see. What else? What else? I don't want to get into anything too complicated still yet. Keep things simple. But I think we might be coming to the end of that. Wheel is definitely one you could learn, though. Learn easily, I should say. Let's just change to that. Alright, so maybe you want to start making a car. Maybe you've kind of gotten the basics and whatnot, and you want to push your limits. Well, a wheel does exactly what you think. It adds a wheel to something. You click, oh look at that, a wheel. And if you press the buttons that correspond to it, sorry, these settings are really long. 8. It's not a very strong wheel, but yeah, there it goes, it spins. And keep in mind with this forward and reverse is relative to when, okay, so when I first click it, see that, like, spinny thing? That is the direction that the wheel will turn. And if you want to change that, just keep the wheel tool in your hand. Well, actually, you don't need to keep the wheel tool. Anyway, just press E on it. See that? Changes the direction. Now you can't tell because I clicked it so much. But there you go. That's the forward direction. So if I did that, then if I press that button, it'll go forward, but it doesn't like to. Anyway, so that's the wheel tool. Torque is how much power it'll have. So if you see there, it wasn't hardly doing anything. Kind of glitched out. If I put one on with more torque, it's a little bit more energetic. But yeah, that's torque. Force limit is, again, think about back in the weld. Force limit is just how strong that bond is. 0 will never break. Anything other than that will eventually. Friction is a lot like the axis. In fact, this wheel tool is the axis tool, which is a modification of the motor tool. So it's similar in a lot of ways. Motor tool, actually, I'll show you that in here in a second. Don't collide with attached object. You definitely want that on. And toggle, so you can have it toggle on and off. But yeah, if you do this, this is always fun for noobs. Spin! Anyway, so that's that. Pretty simple. Let me show you the motor tool real quick. Now, imagine the motor tool exactly like the wheel tool, except for one main difference. There's no wheel, so you can't see. I don't have a wheel on me or anything. What happens is it will be just like the axis tool that we learned earlier, but it will work like the wheel tool. It'll give it power, essentially. So if I click these two, and then click the button, which I don't remember, yeah, 8. Oh, well, obviously there's not enough power there. Oh, yeah, torque 500. Let's change that. Oh yeah, it acts like a wheel, kind of. So if you have that on the side, You can have a square wheel. But yeah, so it's got its uses. And again, a lot of the things are similar. I'm not entirely sure what this does. I don't think I've ever messed with that. I don't really understand what it means. Anyway, inch friction, just like axis, force limit, torque, all the same. All right, that's actually it for this tutorial. So I'll go ahead and stop it there, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Honestly, don't even remember which one I'm on now. Was this 6? 7? I don't remember. Oh well, we'll see you in the next one.